Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. It's always a joy to remind you that the most important energy of life, the most important of your energy, is your connection with that God Spirit within you, that you and the God Spirit are one. Please make no mistake about that. Allow that to be your direction in life. We're also excited about a few other things as well. First of all, I hope you enjoyed our newspaper ad this morning. It's a very, very powerful ad. It's very important for us to understand that we are bringing heaven to earth. Also, tomorrow morning, we'll be doing The Way Out, our new book study by Joseph Benner, the author of The Impersonal Life, from 10 to 11:30. A very powerful book. I encourage you to join us if you're able to do so. Excuse me. And then tomorrow night, we're very happy to introduce a meditation from Rudolf Steiner. I've been doing a lot of work with Rudolf Steiner and feel that his direction is very important for us at this time. So I invite you to join us tomorrow evening from 7 to 8 o'clock for our meditation. We'll be introducing the meditation by Rudolf Steiner. There's a lot of exciting things going on. They simply, in a sense, warrant, hopefully, your response and your enjoyment. Let's begin. My dear friends, when I first began the study of Eastern thought, primarily Hinduism and Buddhism, I felt that I had entered into a whole another view of life. Rather than seeing life from the outside in, as we do in Western culture, Eastern culture viewed life from the inside out. This shift in focus, quite frankly, was very helpful to me in so many ways, as I will share with you in today's teaching. But most of all, what I really learned from Eastern culture, what really struck me, is the seventh step of Buddhism, the seventh step, which is the title of today's teaching, Right Mindfulness, had a lasting impact upon me. The seventh step had a word in it that just stayed with me for the last 60 years. The word is meticulous, meticulous. And this was, in a sense, the basis of it. That if a person is going to advance in their spiritual life, they must meticulously examine their mind. They must meticulously examine their thoughts and do two things. The first one is to get rid of the stuff, frivolous and superficial, that no longer belongs. And obviously, you know the second one, to put in the right directions in life. What struck me about this teaching is that, well, you can't fool yourself. You might be able to put on a good show for others, that you know you. Either something fits into your life or it really does not. Either something belongs in your mind or it's better to get rid of it. It is precisely this teaching of right mindfulness that I will address in today's teaching. Of course, giving a Western culture interpretation that I think will be more relevant for us. I will present what I consider to be the three basic teachings of having a right mind. Let's begin. There are many sayings concerning the use of the word mind, such as, she has a sharp mind, or I don't mind that, or out of sight, out of mind, or the rather terse statement, mind your own business. But also, even in the 12-step programs, that nice little phrase, stinkin' thinkin'. That the one phrase the one thing that really strikes me concerning right mindfulness is the phrase mind over matter. Mind over matter. This teaching of mind or consciousness over matter is really, in a sense, what made me first have a better understanding of learning to follow my own and on as we together are focusing on our spiritual paths. From this phrase, mind, consciousness over matter, let me now introduce 3 principles of right mindfulness. The first principle is one that we in Western culture are just beginning to understand. We're just beginning to assimilate into our daily living. The first principle is thoughts are things. Thoughts are things. And its companion teaching, feelings are things. Thoughts and feelings are facts of our lives, just like tables and chairs. In fact, thoughts and feelings are much more real than tables and chairs, because thoughts and feelings direct our response to life. I want to say that again. Thoughts and feelings are much more important than tables and chairs, because from our thoughts and feelings, we receive direction in our lives. And I will say it one more time. Your thoughts and your feelings direct you. There was a time when we were not aware of this understanding. There was a time when we thought we could get away with our thoughts and feelings. Thus, we often entertained thoughts and feelings that were harmful, both to ourselves and to others. You remember them well. We thought that such thoughts and feelings were harmless. Let me give you a couple of examples. You are certainly familiar with the phrase, out of sight, out of mind. But how many times, when someone was out of your sight, they were not out of your mind? And not just in a sense, people who bugged you, but how many times, in a sense, people who were out of your sight, you couldn't wait to get into your mind because, well, you felt you were in love. Very, very important for us to understand that phrase. Even though people might be out of your sight, they're still in your mind. You know that. The second example that many of us are now experiencing in the effects on thoughts and feelings are to understand how thoughts and feelings impact our physical bodies. While we always paid lip service to psychosomatic medicine, the mind-body relationship, only recently have we become aware of how thinking and feelings have such an important impact on our bodies, again, for the good and for the not so good. We'd often wonder why someone who seemed to have everything in life was still so miserable, and how someone else who seemingly had nothing in life was so happy. The truth of the matter is that those of us who are now on a spiritual path were much more mindful to the importance of paying attention to our thoughts and feelings, because they do direct the responses of our lives. And you can't say to yourself anymore, well, my thoughts and feelings are not that bad. They're just pretending things. Quite frankly, they are harmful and very important for us to move beyond those superficial thoughts, those superficial feelings, and to move into the joyful love of being right-minded and right-hearted. Which now brings me to the second principle of mindfulness. Stated simply, the second principle of mindfulness is this: you become what you think. While it is surely true that no one can tell you what to think, you clearly understand, and it is true, that you will become what you think. You do become what you hold in your mind, because your thoughts are powerful things that direct you. And we also need to add feelings to the principle. You know that you become what you think and what you feel. Now, this is precisely, I think, where we have advanced on our spiritual path in now creations. Please be attentive. Before we address the three things that we need to release, and the three things that would, I think, be most in service to us, you have to come to understand. You have to come to understand that in order to address your direction in life, in order to address your thoughts and your feelings, you must begin somewhere else, not in your thoughts or in your feelings. And that's where most people fail in life. But you know better. Most people fail because they allow the outside world to direct their thoughts and feelings. Whereas you have come to realize that your thoughts and feelings, not only as they relate to yourself, but as they relate to others, must first begin with the guidance of your soul spirit. They must first begin with what is going within your sacred heart. You have clearly come to realize that your everyday life, in your everyday world, they no longer have quite the grip on you. And you have clearly realized that just as you now begin each day in the spirit, you clearly realize that it is your own soul spirit. It is your soul spirit that is now guiding your thoughts and your feelings. You understand this. Thus, you take the time. You take to understand. You take the time to understand what thoughts and feelings must be released that no longer fit, and what thoughts and feelings need to be grown. They need to be grown. They need to be grown from the presence of the Holy Spirit within you. You have stopped pretending that you, the little personality self, know what you're doing. You have now allowed the Holy Spirit to be your guide in life. This is enormous. What's guiding your thoughts, your feelings? So many people fail because it's still outside in. It is in this guidance, namely of the Holy Spirit, what I want to suggest to you are three thoughts and feelings that need to go, and three thoughts and feelings that we need to bring in. Now, let me clearly say at the beginning, only you will know the three that might be best for you, or the three that might need to go. But hopefully, by simply suggesting them, you will give us some thought today what no longer fits and what now needs to fit. Although I will not be surprised if we come across one or two of the same things. First, the three things that I think need to be released from your thoughts and feelings. The first thought, and I hope you either have released it once and for all, or will release it once and for all from right now, is a poor self-image, often expressed in these spiritual words. How could God love me with all of the things that I have done in the past? There are many people who still feel they are unworthy of God's love. That has got to go. We must stop any such thoughts and feelings, both for ourselves and for others as well. We are beloved children of the God Spirit. Yes, we have played the game of separation thinking and separation feeling, but that game is over. And we are now ready to realign. We're ready to reconnect with the loving presence of our Creator at the very center of our lives. It's what I remind you of every morning in our Sunday service. Know the presence, that loving presence at the very center of your being. Please, please realize what a marvelous creation you are. Please, please realize that you are an extension of the love of God. And please, please, please listen to that teaching of Jesus. Teach only love, for that is what you are. That's the truth. There is no more important release than this first one, as it becomes the basis for the second and third releases. The second release I suggest to you is one-sidedness. By one-sidedness, I mean too quickly, seeing things only from your perspective, and then either adding superficial fuel to the fire with silly comments, or holding thoughts and feelings of judgments and criticism for the other party. The antidote to one-sidedness has been the understanding that many of you now are able to extend to others. You realize that everyone, including yourself, is dealing with something. And your ability to understand this has been so uplifting. In fact, you have uplifted so many others by simply responding to difficult situations with a very calm and peaceful manner. But more about this later. The third release I suggest is something that I am noticing in many of you, very happily so, and that is your ability now to release worries of the past and fears of the future. Being able to let the past be past and allowing the future to be your direction. Or perhaps a better way of expressing it would be your ability to live in the present moment. Rather than obsessing over what might go wrong, you have been able to take a much more present moment confidence from your soul spirit to guide your life. Rather than obsessing from the mind over, oh my God, what might go wrong, you have been able to take a present moment awareness from the God Spirit that is within you. Whether it be a petty jealousy or a larger challenging situation, you have begun to remove the doubts about the present quality of your life because of the confidence you have in the presence of the Holy Spirit guiding you at this moment. It's marvelous. You have correctly understood that the separation energies of the past have been completed, and now you are realigning, you are reconnecting, getting your mind fully following the soul spirit presence of the Holy Spirit within you. I so applaud you. I so applaud you for being able to put the past behind you and to move more joyfully into your spiritual future. And in doing so, what a blessing you have become, certainly to yourself, but to so many others as well. Okay, with these three releases in mind, let us now proceed to how the meticulous examination of your mind might present these three blessings for you. The first blessing, without a doubt, the first blessing that the examination of your mind has produced in you is a greater sense of calmness. This is what I've seen in so many of you in now creations. This inner calmness is what most of us have experienced in our lives. It's the number one thing, if I had to say, what is the greatest impact of now creations on people? It's the inner calmness. You're so much calmer within yourself. You are no longer so susceptible to external situations as you used to be. And even more so, you're no longer so susceptible to the moods of other people as you used to be. This inner calmness, I believe, is due to two things. The first one, I know you know what I'm going to say. The first one is because you do your daily spiritual practices. Your daily spiritual practices have cemented within you the guidance of the Holy Spirit to effectively deal with what's going on outside of you. And you have responded to that guidance beautifully. And the second thing, very simply, has been your ability to be more understanding of others than you ever have been. It's now so much easier not to take things personally because you have come to understand the wisdom of A Course in Miracles, which teaches us that every encounter with another is the opportunity for a holy encounter. Wherever you might be, with whomever you are, you now bring your light of understanding. That's terrific. The second growth in mindfulness that I see is your ability to know the truth about yourself. You have accepted fully the fact. You have accepted fully the fact that you are an extension of the God Spirit and that you are a free creative energy bringing heaven to earth. You know the truth about yourself. You're not a limited human personality dilly-dallying in the world. You're much bigger than you used to be. And because you do know the truth about yourself, you're so much more open-minded to the future, not only of your own life, but also you're open-minded to so many other things to be revealed about the earth and life in general. What a contrast. What a contrast Your appreciation for truth is, listen carefully, compared to many people who believe something not because it is the truth, but simply because they like believing it. It makes them feel good. You have fulfilled Socrates' teaching that the most important thing in life is to know yourself. And you do. Again, well done, well done. And of course, with more to come. The third positive aspect of mindfulness that I suggest you have now learned to assimilate in your life is the steadfastness of holding on to the principles and values of the Holy Spirit. In the recent groups and sessions of Now Creations, we have introduced the wisdom of the phrase, staying the course, staying the course. We clearly recognize that life has many twists and turns, ups and downs for us, but we also realize the confidence, the steadfastness, the empowerment that the Holy Spirit has given us to guide us through these ups and downs. I wish that I could share with you so many of the comments that so many of you have made about staying the course, not getting rattled, letting things unfold, knowing with absolute certainty that the power within you is much greater than anything you might be facing. In a nutshell, you have proven to yourself that by living by the principles and values of the God Spirit, it is the way to live. They just work every time. And now, you are not only mindful of them, but you are steadfast. You're steadfast in living these principles and values. We're now ready for the third principle of mindfulness. The first one was that thoughts and feelings are things. The second one, you become what you think. In the third principle, I'm going to use a term that I don't normally use with anyone, but I think it's very important for us. The third principle is self-judgment. Self-judgment. And quite frankly, I love this principle. Not judging others, but self-judgment. Again, listen closely. Self-judgment means that you, and only you, must learn to stand before yourself with the inner wisdom of a judge. I'll say that again. Self-judgment means that you, and only you, who knows yourself, must stand before yourself with the inner wisdom of a judge. Only you can and must judge how you're doing. Such a review is not so much a judgment on simply addressing certain events, but rather it is the development of your inner power of discernment to see clearly in your life what fits now and what doesn't fit. You're the only one who cannot fool yourself. You're the only one who cannot fail yourself. You are the only one who can stop pretending to be spiritual and to truly embark on the spiritual path. Don't just think things because, well, they make you feel good. Think things because they're true They're true about you. They make you feel not just good about yourself, but good about everyone, because they are the truth. Understand fully that you are now under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, and that you're allowing your mind and your feelings to be so directed. Again, I applaud your determination to do so, and in so doing, obviously, to raise the quality of your life. Well, in conclusion, I trust that you have enjoyed this teaching on right mindfulness. It certainly has been meaningful to me in the past, and I continue to do it regularly. While we will address the eighth and final step next week on the Eightfold Path, I encourage you to meticulously examine your mind and see what doesn't fit anymore, frivolous stuff, and what really is important as you go forward. And as each of us does so, may we collectively inspire all of us in now creations to be of right mind and right heart, because thoughts are things and feelings are things, and we do become what we think and feel. Thoughts are things, feelings are things, and we become what we think and feel. I mean, the smile I have on my face right now, just welling up within me, just to know who we are, to know what we have, capable of allowing the soul spirit to guide our lives into more joyful manifestations of truth and goodness. Let me now take you into meditation, and what a joy it is to do so. I have done it many, many times in the past. I presently do it, and I know I'll do it continually into the future. I have meticulously examined what I think and my feelings. I am meticulous about doing so. Because I have come to realize that thoughts are things. feelings are things, but they're not just inanimate things like tables and chairs. They are dynamic energies that chart our future. You certainly are smart enough and wise enough to know that thoughts and feelings are dynamic energies that can be quite harmful. Your own experience attests to this. Just as thoughts and feelings can be the most beautiful experience of life, which you are now coming to know. Your thoughts and feelings are the electromagnetic energies that affect your unified field and have a dramatic impact upon the health of your body, the health of your thoughts and feelings, and certainly your relationships to others. That's why I have become meticulous in my examination of them. Because in so doing, I clearly recognize that either I will enhance myself or diminish myself. Would you please stop worrying about what other people think of you or trying to impress someone? and focus a little more on what you think of yourself under the guidance of the God Spirit within you. How are you doing with yourself? These 7 words, these 7 words. You become what you think and feel. Are the truest truth of our lives. Stay the course. Stay the course. Be meticulous. Now, just one last comment. If you see you need some things to improve, please do not put yourself into the unworthy category. Improve. Get on with it. And step up. Step up to being the beautiful creation that you truly are. No need for guilt, shame, judgment. Just a matter of improving, discerning, becoming better. And in that energy, let me invite you back to your breath. I hope you feel the joy in your being, just the joy. Gee, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Even when you don't know what you're doing, you now know what you're doing. And in that energy, let me invite you to gently breathe your eyes open. Now, it does make you smile, doesn't it? I mean, honestly, don't you just feel like you're in charge? I am an eternal being of light and love. Thus, only good can come to me, and only good can come from me. And we are eternal beings of light and love. Thus, only good can come to us, and only good can come from us. Namaste.